This has got to be the mother of all bowl blanks. I didn't weigh it, but I'm guessing it weighs about 20 pounds. So once it's spinning on the lathe, there's going to be a lot of energy built up there. In other words, if I get a catch, it's going to be a catastrophic catch. Anyway, I'm going to try not to get a catch. Got to get this mounted centered on here somehow. That's the next step. Now you may recall that I was using this hole as the center point on that jig that I made up, and all of these rings are concentric to that hole. Now I realize the further down I went, the more off I probably got, and it could well be that by the time I got to the last ring, it might have quite a bit of wobble in it. So what I'm going to do is, being as if there isn't a pinpoint hole right in the middle of this faceplate, okay, so this is just a smidgen under 6 inches. Okay, now I should be able to just eyeball this and get it in the center of that ring, or that line rather. You know what, I think I'm going to make another one just a little bit smaller, and I can be slightly more precise. Well, sort of more precise. You notice I got a scratch on here. The reason for that is so that if I have to take this off and want to put it back on, I can get the same holes to go in the same holes here. Now you would think that these holes would all be the same. Like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in other words, if you were a sixth of a turn or something like that out when you put it back on, you'd think that it should line up anyway. But it doesn't. These holes, surprisingly, are not that way. They're not, I don't know what to say, they're not what I'm trying to say. So what I'll do is, after I get the holes drilled and the screws in, I'll just mark. What happened to it? There it is. I'll just mark it with a little line here, and that way I'm always assured of, you know what, I'm beating this to death. I think you know what I'm talking about here. Now, one of the viewers had suggested that when I want to find the center of a hole like this, I could use one of my center finder bits, but unfortunately these holes in this faceplate are just a little bit under a 1/4 inch in diameter. They must be metric. Anyway, 1/4 inch is a little bit too big, and the next size down is way too small. Now I happen to have a 15/64 inch bit. In fact, I've got 3 of them, so I don't mind sacrificing one here. And actually, it's probably still going to be okay. Well, let's see if this will write on wood. Well, what do you know? Well, that should work. Now these screws here, they're pretty much the right length. However, they're just a little bit too not big enough in diameter, and they don't have quite as much bite as I'd like. Now these screws, on the other hand, they are just about the exact right diameter, and they're a little bit too long. So what I'm going to have to do is shorten these screws, 12 of them. I thought I might get to do some turning yet tonight, but I can see I'm not going to get to. Okay, now I'll just grind the sharp ends off of those. I don't want to shorten them, but I just want to get them so that I don't need that sharp end on there. Still set up here from when I turned that last pan. Now watch this. This is a wonderful drill press for a woodworking shop. Now I've got locking collars to go on bits so that you can have it clamped on here and it'll stop. Now I've got 13 of them. Now do you think that I've got one that will fit this one? And this is the one I want to use? No. Okay, well that'll be alright. I just want to make sure that I don't, I want to go through this piece, but not a whole lot down into this piece. This piece right here is also this thickness. But I still don't want to go down too deep into it because I want to sort of concave it a little bit from the other side. Anyway, I think if I tighten this up, it should be alright. Okay, I know you can't see it right now, but I've got my extra strong goofy glasses on. Make sure I get it centered as good as possible. I think that's probably going to be okay. So okay, just do that 11 more times now. To the guy that told me about the toothbrush, thank you. Now here again I've got a situation where I probably don't need to do this. I'm just going to put a drop or two in the holes, and this should help to strengthen the threads there. I don't want to get too much in there. If I get too much in there, it'll be building up at the bottom and won't soak in, and it'll harden. Then we'll have sort of like a plug in the bottom. Better limit it to just 2 drops. 1, 2. Now you can see here why it is that I wanted to have the holes drilled just a little deeper than this 3/4 inch piece here, because if the end of this bottoms out, it's probably not going to want to screw itself into the wood because it's not pointy anymore. Anyway, that's my theory. Well, I had really planned on getting this on the lathe tonight so we could see how it would fit. In fact, earlier I thought I might actually get a little turning done today. However, It always takes longer than you think. So I think I better quit right now. It is after 6 p.m. as I'm speaking, that is. So yeah, thanks for watching.